Oh. Oh. Have you seen that meme of the blonde girl? It's on the street in New York. Where it was like a whole thing of like, you know, this clingy person that you've only met a couple of times, like inviting you out for breakfast when you don't want to see them. But I just love that the only takeaway from the 2-minute video is her going, oh. And it's been used for so many things.
There's another one, though, of some drag queen from, like, Drag Race UK or something, and she has this messed up face of makeup. I mean, she did it on purpose, like, to look weird. And it's just her going, oh, okay. And you'd have to see it's a bizarre face making a bizarre sound, and it's just...
But enough about me.
Enough about you.
I don't even know where to start.
I do.
Your friend Dylan Mulvaney?
Oh, God.
Or what? Where would you like to start?
Well, okay, we really kind of have 3 topics. One I've already written about, the other one I'm about to write about, and the third one is Trump-related, so...
Which drag queen you want to pick first?
Well, and then there's the Fox News lineup, so...
oh, that's right.
Where would you like to start?
I think that the Fox News lineup, only because it's a brief thing. Number 1 and number 2, congratulations to Drag Race for being featured in the primetime slot on Fox News. Like, good for them. I think it would be really funny if the average Fox News viewers just saw, like this season on Drag Race. And it's just like, how many minutes in do you think it would be like, wait a second, this isn't Hannity? Because I think that Jeanine Pirro could be on both.
Or how long until it... Wait, these aren't real women?
Anne Margaret looks terrible. What happened? I mean, at this point, they might as well put Drag Race on Fox News at the primetime slot because it'd get more ratings than whatever, you know, person that they still have left in that hellhole that they can dredge up to be in that.
But the question is, you open the can of worms. The question is, do you think the, you know, uber progressives who vowed I will never turn on Fox News would turn it on if they knew Drag Race was on?
You would see some gay bars scrambling real fast to get Fox News added to their all-in-one package. Can you imagine with the breaking news ticker on the bottom, like, boom, breaking news, Eureka O'Hara will make a guest appearance after this break. I think that would be great. I would love to see Alaska Thunderfuck have a chyron on Fox News.
Why? Why would you manifest that into the
Well,
universe?
okay, they had Kitty Demure or whatever that.
Because
the conservative drag queen on Jesse Waters' show. So you're not that far off.
Oh, come on! She's the only conservative. One of 2 conservative drag queens.
Should have showed up as Hagatha Sisti.
I wonder, now that I think about it, I wonder how mad Lady MAGA is that Kitty Demure made primetime before she did.
I mean, let's be honest. I think that they would both do a very good show together. In fact, they should have a podcast.
Yeah.
You know,
I've listened to that.
Dragging from the Right or something like that.
Anyway.
But, really quick, before you sort of derail. Did you see the pictures of RuPaul's house renovation that were going around Twitter today?
No.
Okay,
I've not been on Twitter much today.
So good. But just, it was, you know, Martin Lawrence Bullard design, so it's like, some house in Beverly Hills.
He hasn't been killed off by AIDS yet?
Not that Martin Lawrence. And Martin Lawrence doesn't have AIDS.
No. I know exactly what you're talking about. Martin Lawrence Bullard, he was on $1 Million Decorators for the 2 seasons that it was on Bravo, along with one of my favorite women of all time, what's her name? McCourt, no.
I thought you were going to say the other gal with the frizzy hair, who's the designer.
No, Kelly Wersler.
Wersler.
She was on Top Design, which was the competition show. But
Top Design was on Bravo, and $1 Million Design was on what? Like
no, they were both on Bravo.
Oh.
One was a competition, one was following designers.
Oh, okay. Well, while you're looking that up, so Martin Lawrence Bullard did the whole design in the house, and I got to tell you,
Mary McDonald.
There you go.
Martin Lawrence Bullard Catherine Ireland, Jeffrey Allen Marks, and Mary McDonald.
Wait,
were
the
all...
Kathy Ireland? Like
Yes.
the model who does the lamps at
No.
Lamps Plus?
No,
There's a different Catherine
This
Ireland?
Catherine Ireland is unfortunate looking.
Oh.
But anyway.
Did you know how
it
much
was an
money-
amazing show, and I'm mad that they canceled it.
Yeah. You know that Kathy Ireland, do you want to know how much she's worth? She's worth $420 million.
The model or the decorator?
The model.
Okay.
Because of her line of lamps at Lamps Plus. No one would think of Kathy Ireland as being maybe the wealthiest model in history. Janice Dickinson is out here, stabbing plastic surgeons for a few bucks. And Kathy Ireland is worth $420 million.
No, this Kathy Ireland is the one who...
Catherine Ireland.
Well, she's the one on the far.
Oh.
But Mary McDonald, the
that's
fabulous
like
one...
a jump scare.
is
Yeah.
the second one.
Yeah. So...
Anyway.
Well, getting back to a bad... This is like a
Mr.
million...
Ballard, who
This-
I know is HIV positive.
How?
He has to be.
This poor man, you don't
Because
know.
he's like 75.
I think that Calvin Klein has HIV after that picture I saw of him at Erewhon in the Daily Mail, but no one wants to talk about that. But, okay. This was a multi-million dollar house renovation. Apparently the house with the renovation and everything was about $15 million. Because of all the RuPaul's Drag Race, all this kind of stuff. Like, this is no longer, shoplifting wigs from the place over off of Lancashire and Vineland in North Hollywood. This is like mega millions. And it's fascinating that that's about 15 minutes away. Only in LA, I mean, even in New York, like, okay, you can be in Harlem, you can be in Central Park. But only in LA can you be in a $15 million mansion a short drive away from where you used to shoplift wigs. I'm not saying that RuPaul ever did, but I know half those drag
Well,
queens
I mean, come
did.
on. He probably did. He'd probably admit to it.
It's like, I took this now. Sally Beauty didn't know it was coming. But let me see. Okay, not Ron Paul's house. I want to see RuPaul's house. All right. So there's a video, but I want you to scroll through this. Here's the problem. I think you're going to really like this, and I think that it's pretty horrifying. So it's black and white
Which you know I love.
with pops of color,
Which you know I love.
But something about it seems very Party City.
No, I don't like the disco balls.
The chandelier that's 27 disco balls.
Okay, no, that's...
The La Cornue Hermes orange range that says you better work in custom script on the top.
Well, that I can't see, but
It
just
was written
looking...
on the stovetop.
But just looking at it, I mean,
Yeah.
that's not bad. It's a little bit...
Gloss black is a hard thing to pull off in a house.
I like it, though. The chandeliers are a little weird, but they're the modern, they're adding the modern to the old.
Yeah.
I like this. Like, the outdoor...
A black pergola. Here's the problem, though. All that gloss black paint, gloss black paint.
It's gonna have to be touched up a lot.
Yes, because after 2 summers, that's
Yeah.
going to look faded and gray and covered in dust.
So it looks great right now, but it's going to be a lot of upkeep.
This is one thing I have to say. I feel like in Vegas and Scottsdale and other very hot places, Palm Springs, they know how to build outdoor spaces, especially ones that are durable in very high heat and lots of dust. LA has no concept of that, which is why you see these really pretty backyards and influencers' houses and stuff like that. But in a year or two, it's going to look like shit.
Well, I love the bar. I don't like the wallpaper on the other walls, but like
Yeah.
the actual bar and the setup and the
It's
stools and the chairs. That's nice.
There's a black and white radiating ceiling. Like here's the problem. They tried to do old Hollywood, like Hollywood glamour, so late 20s into the mid 40s, like over the top, Belle Epoque, like gorgeous. But they tried to do it in a monochrome sense, and it just looks so severe. The whole point of old Hollywood is it was very pale and faded, and there was a little bit of gold, and a little bit of silver, and a little bit of touch of color here, but it was very soft and muted. This is like forceful.
Well, yeah, but what I'm angry about...
I'm gonna have to put this in the episode description,
Yes.
like a link to the Architectural Digest photos, so you can see for yourself.
But what I'm
because it's-
angry about is that he stole my idea, because I've always talked about I want a house that's like black and white, and every room has its own one accent color.
Right.
Like, yellow in this room.
This is the orange
in this
room. This is the blue room.
But it's mostly black and white, but just like a few pillows or a couch or a chair that's a vibrant color. So it's exactly what I've always talked about for, I'm pushing 10 years probably, but no, they're not. It's not the best. I wouldn't want to live in this, but I don't think they're horrific.
I just think that for the amount of money I know was spent, like the fact that each of those rooms are a couple $100,000, you could have actually had a really gorgeous, relaxing. Like there's cool shit in here. Like there's,
but I could see that as being RuPaul. Like that's not you.
No. And like, okay, the beautiful like glam closet. Okay, the glam closet in this color is
I just realized the ceiling is like a shiny mirror.
Yes, that's kind of interesting. Like the ceiling is like a mirrored lame. I think that the closet is the best looking room in the house because it's actually a closet designed from the ground up to be
and it's usable.
What kind of closet would a drag queen at the top of their what does a closet look like in Mar-a-Lago? Like, what would a drag queen at the top of their game have as far as a closet goes?
Well, lots of space for...
This is the room that makes me dizzy. That's sick.
Yeah, that's a bit over the top.
So to describe... Martin Lawrence Ballard table. There's a Restoration Hardware mirror. There's other things in here that are fine. A Missoni fabric.
Right.
But from the ceiling is this like...
Right, it's the ceiling that fucks you up.
It looks like something from Psycho. Like it's this like black and white painted radiating ceiling that comes out from the center. Like
if you have epilepsy, don't go in there.
No, I'm seizing just looking at this. But yeah, so there's stuff where it's like we're not pushing the ball forward. I feel like that's a rough look. And I know that everyone's doing natural now, but entirely
not natural.
There's nothing natural about that. But there's nothing natural about a 60-year-old black man with a shaved head dressing up in drag. Well, but enough about Gayle King.
I don't know how we got onto RuPaul after talking about Fox News, but anyway.
Well, I wanted to mention it. It's been on my mind all day.
Well, okay, so Fox News has announced its new...
primetime lineup.
Its new primetime
5 p.m., Natalie Holloway. 6 p.m., Natalie Holloway and Greta Van Susteren. 7 p.m.,
Are you finished?
7 p.m. No! 7 p.m. is, we're still searching for John Benet Ramsey's killer. I think that'd be more interesting, but Greta's on some side network now.
They should put Nancy Grace on. Anyway.
Isn't she a Fox employee?
Yeah. Well, she a contributor, I think. I don't think she's technically a direct employee.
So she's no longer with Headline News, which I don't even know if that channel exists anymore.
I don't think it does.
And she's not on MSNBC. So she's on Fox Nation with her show this person should fry with Nancy Grace. That terrifying haircut.
We still haven't watched the Britney Spears thing like we said we were. But
oh, that's right. You said that she did die. Jamie Spears, you should fry. And Mrs. Spears, you also should fry. Death to all of them. Oh,
that's your
Jesus.
Georgia accent. So no, Hannity gets moved up to the prime time.
Which
the what do you call it? The showcase prime time.
That's
slot?
the term that they used on Drudge today.
So
speaking of old queens,
the cream of the crop of prime time. So taking Tucker's spot, Hannity's just being moved up an hour, which I think is, in my opinion, stupid. But it's probably the best thing that they can do for their network.
One of my Twitter followers said that before Tucker came on, and after O'Reilly, Hannity was also moved up in that slot, but it was only temporary. So that's possible that they're doing that again until they find a more banner name. Hannity by himself is the worst show on cable news. I'm sorry.
Rest in peace, Alan Combs. We didn't agree.
Literally, rest in peace. I wanted to cry the day that Alan Combs died. Alan Combs dying was my John Lennon getting shot. I was so sad because it was he was good against...
He was a respectable man, yes.
Yes, and he was good against Sean. Because Sean was he is who he is. And Alan Combs would be a good pushback. You can't... and then it was just Hannity throwing a football at Juan Williams' head. And that gets old, after the fifth night in a row.
So Hannity's been pushed up, and then Jesse Waters is taking the
Hannity slot.
And then...
Which is fine. I think that's, Jesse Waters was trained to be O'Reilly's replacement. He was brought up on O'Reilly's show as just the on-the-ground contributor. He'd go spring break and interview people do you know who Benjamin Franklin is? And some whore would be like, no, I have no idea. And he'd be like, see, our youth doesn't know shit. And he finger banger right on camera. It's great.
Allegedly. And then
I was there.
Oh my god.
That girl was me. And then
they're moving Gutfeld up an hour as well.
Oh, Gutfeld comes on late?
Yeah, so okay.
Does he still do the 5?
Yes. So
okay.
Gutfeld is oftentimes, not every day, on the 5.
All right.
And then he has his late night show, which I believe is 11 p.m. Eastern. So it was always 8 o'clock was Tucker, 9 o'clock was Hannity, 10 o'clock was, who has now disappeared, Laura Ingraham.
Who definitely put a hose in the mailbox at Fox News.
And
you heard she did that once, right?
And then 11 o'clock was Gutfeld.
You heard that Greta... you heard... Not Greta. You heard that Laura Ingraham put a hose in someone's mailbox?
No.
After the guy went back to his wife? It's a great story.
What does that signify? I don't
know. She's like Fatal Attraction or something.
But it's not a rat. Like if it had like some kind of pop culture reference, like I would just. It wasn't a pop culture.
I don't know.
Random object.
Straight people don't do things for pop culture references. Straight people do things because they're pissed. Gay people do things so they can be like, yes, slay, work, sis.
I don't get them.
Gay people will be like, remember what Joan Crawford did to her third husband? And people are like, no, I don't pay that much attention. Gay people are like, I'm going to take Judy Garland's pills. No, that doesn't. What is that going to do? You can't get
a really good time.
You can't get Seconal anymore, whatever the hell it's called. But okay, so you have now that there's going to be three white males in the Fox News primetime segment. Hannity, Tucker. Oh, sorry, no, Hannity instead of Tucker, Jesse Waters instead of Hannity, and Gutfeld instead of Laura Ingraham Engel.
Yeah. So I'm really kind of shocked that, like, no one said if her show was just being canceled. Like, they didn't say anything about it. They just were like, by the way, it's disappeared. Like, it never existed. Like, I don't understand.
I thought that she got pretty good ratings.
So did I. That's why I'm kind of confused. But
I mean, maybe she'll be doing something else.
Or maybe they'll just push her to the Gutfeld slot.
She doesn't get up early enough. She doesn't get up early enough for, Fox and Friends.
Yeah, but anyway, they think this will save them. I think it probably will save them for a little while longer, but it's a bridge over. As soon as the boomer generation is either dead or incapacitated and unable to watch television,
I'm already there.
They're dead.
Well, okay, we were talking about this morning that if this is their lineup, those people log on. They're going to listen to somebody they agree with for an hour. Like, you're going to hear Hannity say something. Oh yeah, Hannity's great. And go to Ruth's Chris. Go to the Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, the best place. Like his radio ads. Okay, great. You get your Hannity slot.
I'm pissed at Hannity though.
Why?
Well, did
he finger bang you during spring break? In a Ruth's Chris Steakhouse?
I'd be less pissed. No, He's one of the, like I told you this morning, I use this phrase. He's one of the good old boys, right? So he reminds me of like Mitch McConnell, like these people who are not really that Republican.
Or not, I would say not politically vibrant. And the worst part is I think that, like Mitch McConnell, Hannity thinks he sets the tone, and that's not the case.
The Republican Party has become the populist party of this country. Like, right. That's just what's happened.
Right.
But there are certain people like Mitch McConnell and Hannity who are pushing back against that, even though they'll say, oh, I love Donald Trump. I don't think they really do because...
It's just conservatism, Inc.
Because Lauren Boebert, who is one of the most populist members of Congress, gets on Hannity's show back when they couldn't pick a Speaker of the House.
Yeah.
And she was one of the few who were going, no, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. He berated her on live television, and I watched it, and I'm like, this is disgusting. He kept asking her questions, and then she would go to answer them, and he would cut her off like
he's the worst interviewer on TV.
Not like 2 words in, he would cut her off and not allow her to say anything, and not allow her to get her and her caucus's point across. It was infuriating, and just the way he spoke to a woman. Like, if it were Matt Gaetz, I'd be like, okay, you're kind of an asshole.
Fish.
But
a woman.
You're talking to a woman. Like, you're supposed to be a gentleman. You're supposed to be a man who is part of the conservative party,
right,
who respects women. And you're going to talk to a woman like that. Like, I would expect a progressive man to talk to a woman like that because
Right.
they're quote unquote equals, all that bullshit.
Well, okay, that's an interesting thing because Lauren Boebert, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, is now headed for divorce
Oh, I didn't know that.
with 4 kids, and apparently the process server went to her husband's house to deliver the papers, and he walked out and threw them on the ground, and then walked back inside where a gun was visibly placed on the table and like a beer or something, which I think is good if a process server shows up. But okay, we've got Boebert divorced, Marjorie Taylor Greene divorced. Is Susan Collins next?
Is she even married?
I think she's married to Olympia Snow.
I was going to say a blow-up doll doesn't count.
But okay, what is this thing about these women in politics and not being good for their marriage? Like Nancy Mace, that as I called her today, I have to bring up the specific phrase because I think it was apt. One of my friends posted about her, and I had to respond. I know.
No, I just think
We'll
it's
get
funny
back
that no, this is good conversation.
Yeah.
I think it's funny that we've spent half the episode and we're not even off our first topic because
No, it's great.
we've gone in circles.
Because, okay, Nancy Mace, someone said, some dumb bitch, said, I think that she's the future of the GOP. And my friend was like, no. And this woman's like, haha, very insightful. Care to explain your views on her? And I said, vulgar divorced wine mom who happens to check a box on the right when she feels like it. That's the best description I can find from her. Also, by the way, no more politicians from South Carolina. South Carolina, you have been ejected from choosing politicians.
Patricia Atchell, or however you say her
She's a
name.
New Yorker.
No, she's from Charleston, South Carolina,
And she
and
lives in
she
New
would be
York.
an amazing congresswoman.
She would not take that job. It'd be a step down for her.
It would be.
But what South Carolina politician is any damn good? You've got Nancy Mace who just goes on there saying "fuck this, fuck that," and with her dried up. And then you've got speaking of dried up, Lindsey Graham.
Ugh.
Awful.
I don't know. That turtle's pretty moist.
Oh, and then you've got Tim Scott, who's looks like a thumb. He's useless. And then you've got Nikki Haley. South Carolina has the worst politicians on a national scale. And I, by the way, one of my good friends in college is from there and has met some of these people. His dad is a very influential professor, and I was like, what? Why? Why do you people keep voting for these people like Lindsey Graham and stuff? I'm like, you guys all know he's a friend of Dorothy. He's like, here's the problem. There's a few very wealthy old women who are in charge of picking the politicians in our state. And you either get on their good side or you get on their bad side.
I made a mistake earlier, but you very nicely let it go, so thank you.
And every politician from South Carolina has to go kiss a few old women's rings, and they get the job. And if they don't pass them, they don't get in. I'm like, well, then why did you get these people? He's like, no, doesn't matter. That's it. That's how it's run here. That's how we've always done it. And that's how we're going to do it. And I'm like, well, on a national scale, that you get these embarrassing ass politicians.
Well, I mean, it's funny you mentioned that. So, I'm sorry, the senator you just
Nancy
mentioned.
Mace or Nancy Grace?
No, the senator you just mentioned.
Collins?
Lindsey
Graham?
Lindsey Graham.
That queen? Lady G.
The show, for those of you listening, the show that I'm watching
Southern
right
Charm.
now is Southern Charm.
Yes.
That's why I mentioned Patricia Atchell earlier. I'm rewatching it so I can catch up because I missed a few of the seasons. But it's funny because one of the first, I guess it was season 2, his name's Thomas Ravenel. He was one of the main characters. He was one of the main characters of the show. Cast members.
It's a 50-something-year-old man,
right? But he
who has
ran
knocked
for senator.
up how many 20-year-old women?
He ran for Senate.
Perfect.
Against
Lindsey Graham.
And at the time, especially because he was on reality television, he was like one of the front-running names to actually like possibly unseat this man.
Right.
Some messed up scandal that didn't actually happen kind of broke out, and it ended up he got like 3% of the vote.
Right.
But the only person to give this man a run for his money in like, 20 plus years is a reality star.
Right. Because you don't go up against someone
who was
these few
previously
old women
convicted for
choose.
cocaine.
It's not old men either. It's these few old women. Some of them are widows. I think almost all widows. But they have an incredible amount of money and pull. You go and kiss the ring. And by the way, the reason that Nikki Haley is not still governor of South Carolina is because she crossed one of them. And the woman said, okay, that's it. There's your funding. And now Nikki Haley is like a stupid sideshow trying to run for president. Because she could never win a national office from South Carolina ever again. But that's how it runs in that state.
We've gone wildly off topic.
Good.
Anyway,
What was on topic? I don't care.
we finished talking about the Fox News lineup. I think it's kind of a shitty lineup.
I think that Martin Lawrence Bullard should run from Senate from South Carolina.
I understand why they chose that lineup. It is what it is. Half of our listeners, which is like half a person, doesn't actually watch Fox News. So,
are you saying that Colin is half a man?
No, I said half of our listeners.
Oh.
That meaning half a person.
He is one person.
Yes. No. Most of you do not watch Fox News. I understand that, but I think they're probably doing what they can to keep the few viewers they have left, and they'll bite the dust sooner or later. After they finish paying off this settlement.
Well, you heard that thing about in Project Veritas. Or, sorry, no longer. Veritas, done. It's the OMG Media Group, O'Keefe Media Group, did an expose on Fox where I guess they talked to one of the gay producers who was like, the real situation, Dominion said that Tucker should be fired. And if Tucker's fired, then you know that advertising money was not coming in, sis. It's all going to Pfizer. That was basically what he said.
And I told you that was probably one of the stipulations, if not a stipulation, a suggestion.
He basically confirmed it.
From that lawsuit. I'm not stupid.
Wow.
I might seem stupid, but I'm not. Anyway. Dolly Parton or Dylan Mulvaney? Which one first?
I'd fuck Dolly Parton over Dylan Mulvaney. Because I think she's had less work done.
I mean, I would probably too. However, and one of them has one of the appendages that I like the most.
I'd rather be...
But
I don't want to be a housewife with a wiener.
Oh, God.
That tranny in Mount Miami that you listen to. But yes,
so... I wrote
Dolly Parton case.
Yes, I wrote...
a national treasure.
I wrote a national treasure? Oh, thank you so much.
No, Dolly Parton's a national treasure. You're a regional treasure. Local treasure.
I wrote an article for the California Globe that came out today as we record this later, so then you're listening to this. The left or the Advocate really is trying to cancel Dolly Parton for daring to have Kid Rock on her newest album. So
album?
Yeah, she's having a rock and roll album with 30 tracks on it, by the way. And the album is called Rockstar.
That would have Kim Petras in the ICU.
It'll be out in November. I'm giving her free publicity here.
But she's doing that song about about how politicians suck or something. And I think the left is also upset about that because she's saying everyone on all sides is a problem, and everyone's like, no. Even though Dolly Parton has contributed more to literacy in this country than anyone in the education system. She's
contributed to a lot of things in this country. That's why she's a national treasure. But anyway, the point is, she has a new album coming out, 30 plus songs with like 15, 16 duets. Like half the songs on the album are like partnerships, duets with people that span the spectrum, right? So like Lizzo, Miley Cyrus.
She has a Lizzo song?
Yes. Belinda Carlisle, I think.
Belinda Carlisle is
Melissa Etheridge. I mean, just pulling people from all walks of life.
Belinda Carlisle is literally like she's like the pale horse, pale rider. Like she's been stalking like Joni Mitchell for a while and dragged her out of obsolescence to go and sing a few songs or talk her way through them. And now she's going after Dolly Parton. Belinda Carlisle and her lapels and her Subaru need to stay the fuck away from Dolly Parton.
Oh my. Tell us how you really feel.
Well. But it's true. She's literally been. She was trying to get up with Bonnie Raitt. Like all of our beloved musicians who should be enjoying their royalties in retirement Belinda Carlisle shows up at their door with a gun and tries to get them to collaborate. But yes, so Dolly has a rock album.
I'm sorry.
Dance.
I'm sorry. I made a mistake. Brandi Carlile, not Belinda Carlisle. I knew something was not quite right. But anyway, your points about Belinda Carlisle stand.
No, my point is about Brandi Carlile, right?
No, they're two different people.
Right.
I made a mistake and said the wrong name. I apologize.
Oh no! Wait a second. Yes, the one the dyke. Okay, I was talking about Brandi Carlile.
Then yeah, that's who I meant to say.
Who is Belinda Carlisle? Oh, that's the Baby is a Place on Earth. No, she was in the Go-Go's.
Yeah.
Heaven is a Place on Earth. No, Belinda Carlisle is fine.
Yes.
It's Brandi Carlile who's the problem.
Well, that's why. Okay, so you and I telepathically knew what we were talking about.
We knew that. Yes.
As soon as I started questioning myself, I was like, "Wait, are you talking about the right person?"
I didn't consciously think of them having the same last name at all.
We share the same brainwave way too often. God. This is scary. Anyway, yeah. So Lizzo,
I want a hot dog real bad.
Lizzo, Brandi Carlile, Melissa Etheridge, and Kid Rock. So
she got two dykes, a rapping bitch, and Kid Rock.
The Advocate,
Big deal.
The Advocate had a problem with her partnering with Kid Rock because
who cares?
Because he has apparently said some homophobic things in the past.
No,
I'm not quite sure.
All that Kid Rock said was this Dylan Mulvaney thing. Fuck Bud Light and shot up the beer cans. Big deal.
So the newest thing is that they're calling him a transphobe for shooting up the cans of Bud Light. And staging his own kind of protest.
If a wealthy Michigan kid can't shoot up beer cans, is this America anymore?
However, I want to say that video of him shooting up the beer cans happened like last month. She surely has recorded her song with him like months and months and months ago.
Yeah, when you're announcing an album, the song has been recorded at least a year ago.
Right, and the partnership, the agreement to make the music together was made a lot longer, ago than that.
Right.
So they're canceling her for not retroactively going back and saying, "Oh, never mind. Let me pull this song that I spent a lot of money on and worked really hard on because this man shot a beer can." What the fuck?
That's how you know these people aren't country. These people are sitting there in an office in downtown Nashville or LA or New York and trying to determine this stuff. There's nothing country about that.
Right, so I wrote an article about it. You guys go out and read it, please.
CaliforniaGlobe.com, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But I want to read these two quotes from John Casey, senior editor of The Advocate, who can't write for shit. But he was
That's a big byline.
He was the one who wrote this article, and he had some really choice quotes in the article that I'd like to get your opinion on because we haven't talked about this. So he says, quote, "This is not an ill-advised decision. This is a slap in the face to all of us at a time when we are under assault by haters and state legislatures all over the country, and from someone who should know better." End quote. Second quote. "Dolly has more money than she knows what to do with, and good for her."
No, she knows what to do with her money.
I'm not done. "Dolly also has more love than she knows what to do with, and by joining Kid Rock, she's shown us how much love she has for us." End quote.
See, here's the thing. Okay, I want to say this I want to be very clear.
For once in your life?
Well, once in my life. At least when ISIS committed a terrorist attack, it just killed a few people in a small area. With The Advocate and other LGBTQ++, whatever, PIA,
yes.
gay incorporated organizations, they demand more submission than the Muslim world does. Because you can breathe a positive word about someone they don't like, and they not only demand that you retract it, they demand that you pretend like you never even knew that person. They demand money. They demand, every kind of retribution possible to you. And even then, they'll never promote you again. They'll act like you don't exist. They will try to disappear you from the face of the earth. At least with ISIS, you knew where they stood. With Gay Incorporated, they could take you out at any moment.
Because they're ideals and the goalpost changes every fucking 5 seconds.
Right. So you breathe a word of kindness to someone they don't like? Uh-oh. Too bad. You ran into Gay Incorporated's, crosshairs.
Yeah, so I don't want to repeat some of the stuff that I wrote.
But yeah, anyway, California
it's
Globe,
called,
read the article. Talk about how they're trying to cancel Dolly, which is who's a national treasure.
And she's done more for the gay. I mean, she's done more for anyone, but especially the gay community, and she's shown more support than so many other, more than Madonna has, for God's sakes. Madonna hasn't done anything. Like, at least Dolly has given money to, like, AIDS research and all of this stuff.
I think the last time Madonna did anything was, like, 1988. Like, she kind of gave up after that. She was tired of the gays. The gays criticized one album and Madonna was out.
It's baffling to me how you can just take everything positive that someone's done and throw it away because they did one thing that you think is slightly wrong.
Yes. Well, last thing is Dylan Mulvaney, and it was just her dragging. So I guess the new Are You There, God, It's Me, Margaret movie flopped. It's flopping actively.
I'm kind of surprised by it.
I don't care about seeing it in the movie. By the way, our dog also thinks that the movie flopped. As we're wrapping up, I always thought growing up that Judy Blume was very overrated. And I never...
Because she spoke and wrote to women. You were not her demographic.
Even then, the girls I knew and stuff like that, like, we didn't read her books. Like, we didn't... And there was sort of this idea or this concept that Judy Blume was just this, like, kind of like, feminist, whatever. And I was like, okay, fuck her. Like, we don't care about her. And she's not even that good of a writer. But Judy Blume appeared in a video with your favorite and mine, Dylan Mulvaney, in that fake-ass Burberry outfit that he probably stole from some, like, shop off Canal Street. It's a knockoff. It's a knockoff. Dylan Mulvaney is a Burberry knockoff.
Maybe he grabbed a suitcase like what was
like Sam Brinton.
Yeah,
he probably grabbed a suitcase. Trying to dress up like, Jackie Onassis if she would have shot in the accident. And interviewing Judy Blume about Are You There, God, It's Me, Margaret, which, as you said, this is a book about...
It's a coming-of-age book for little girls.
Who have their period.
Right, talking about periods, talking about all of this stuff, liking boys, like all of that.
But because he's on day 400 of girlhood.
Right, very femininely driven book and now movie. And they're getting a fake-ass woman who has not even gone through hormone replacement therapy to talk about this. It's just
You're more of a
disgusting.
woman than Dylan Mulvaney is.
I probably am.
And
which
so
is
it's
scary as hell.
Well, but so that I just think it's fascinating that that's the first thing after the Bud Light thing is, all right, how do you beat the groomer allegations? Go out with a beloved children's author and start talking about how girls get their periods. They're not doing themselves any favors.
No. So yeah, I'll write about that one soon.
No, that's a good article coming out. CaliforniaGlobe.com. It's under your byline, right?
Yes.
Okay. There we go.
And yeah, so we'll save the Trump stuff for next time.
Oh. I'm sure there'll be more.
Yeah, we'll probably have a lot more information before
exactly
next time. So go fuck yourselves.